Argument fallacies. Hello. Early on in human development, something fantastic evolved. Language. We learned to talk to each other. It gave us a tremendous edge. Communicating with words allowed us to do so much more. While we might not always agree, we could listen and learn. Language was used to spread knowledge and experience. But words could also be used against each other. We created false arguments that got us nowhere. And nothing much has changed over time. But if we learn to hear when an argument is false, a fallacy, we can learn to use language more efficiently and to see through the smokescreen of disinformation. Today's episode is about argument fallacies, manipulative approaches that cause problems. And they're everywhere, in advertising, in politics, in conversations we have with our siblings, parents, teachers, supervisors, and friends. These argument fallacies can be very effective too. But the reason they're known as fallacies is that they undermine the conversation and trick listeners if they don't see through them. We have chosen a few common argument fallacies to look out for. Personal attacks. This is very common in public debates, but also between private individuals. A personal attack is when you do not respond to the argument at hand. You attack the person you're discussing a matter with. Let's say that I'm me, and that guy over there is using an argument fallacy. I might say something like this. It might be advisable for fast food restaurants to clearly state how much sugar and fat their food contains. Unhealthy lifestyles are a problem in society, and maybe more information would be helpful. So, I saw you over at the grill yesterday. Washing down lots of fries with a supersized soft drink. And now you sit here and try to tell me about a healthy lifestyle. Why should I listen to you? We weren't actually discussing me. So if he thinks I'm wrong, then he should focus on what I said about unhealthy lifestyles and the need for more information. A personal attack on me has nothing to do with the matter. All this does is show that the person doesn't have a genuine argument. False dilemma. Whoever is not with me is against me. You hear that a lot, even when it's possible to be somewhere in between two points of view. But the false dilemma approach doesn't allow for that. This is where you take a complex issue and reduce it to such simple terms that only two alternatives remain. This is common in budget negotiations, for example. So, you want to invest in schools, but then there won't be any money left over for our senior citizens. No, that's not how it works. There's nothing that says that the funds used for schools would be taken from senior citizens. False compromise. Obviously, wanting to reach consensus is good, and for the most part, things aren't total opposites. But occasionally, there will be a right or a wrong alternative. Take sunrise, for example. The sun rises in the east. That's the way it is. If someone claims that the sun rises in the west, that doesn't make the sun rise somewhere in between. This may sound self-evident, but we do see debates where a small number of deniers of man-made climate change are treated as equals with the global scientific community, or that a single blogger going on about conspiracies in connection with vaccines is given as much credit as the body of global medical knowledge. The truth does not necessarily lie somewhere in the middle. Don't be tricked by false compromise. Missing the point. Lots of arguments have nothing to do with the matter. Like when someone wants to make the point that certain things are good or bad simply because they're old or new. This natural remedy is amazing. It's been used in the Far East for thousands of years. How is that relevant? I don't care where a certain remedy comes from or how long it's been used. I want to know if it works. Bandwagon appeal. This type of fallacy often involves claims of what everyone else is doing, so you can evade responsibility. Oh, come on. After all, 2 million other people voted for that candidate as well. That means nothing. You should vote for a certain candidate by making informed choices based on your own conclusions, not on bandwagon appeal. Summary. I've presented a few argument fallacies. There are many more, but the important thing is not to memorize the names, but to be aware of them, and to get a feel for what they sound like, and to be watchful for them. That will enable us to avoid getting tricked. And if we stop using argument fallacies, our conversations will be more rewarding and we can think more clearly, together. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something new. Not only about argument fallacies, but also from the material in the other 3 episodes, that taking your time to consider matters promotes clear thinking, that you should dare to think along new lines, and dare to put your thoughts to the test, that applying the scientific method has helped us develop life-saving medication, and provide in-depth knowledge of our surroundings. Thank you.